Go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to I Was Never a Fan of Episode 2. And I'm being joined by.
The Variety Vendor, host of Variety Views, and as well as I am I would say the founder of Desire of Wrestling.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
also being joined by.
Yeah,
Weston.
dude, I was speaking. You can't cut off your former champion like that.
Keyword
He's
former.
great.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, yeah, but at least I'm the first ever champion. You never forget the first ever champion.
The only reason that you were champion for 2 weeks is because you never faced me,
I still won it. I still kept it. Doesn't
and
make
I
a
still
difference.
took it away from you. Anyways, Babylon 5. No, I don't
All
think
right,
the
so
guys
this is
watching
not
this
a
show.
wrestling show. This is a
Yeah.
show about Babylon 5. And the point of the show is, even though I'm introducing it, really Ed is the host, but he was never a fan of Babylon 5. So, what we're doing now is we're making him a fan of Babylon 5. If he likes it or not. No.
Yes, and I'm not the only I'm not the only victim in this chamber. Weston is along with the ride because he
Hey,
Yeah,
also
Weston.
was never a fan of Babylon 5.
Yes.
yeah. I just joined
And
randomly one day.
Weston. Hey?
I was just saying, I just joined randomly one day. Like, hey, let's watch Babylon 5, and
Yeah,
we're gonna
well,
find
you
out what I
didn't
thought.
miss much. You only missed the pilot movie, which is The Gathering, which isn't very good. I don't know, I just turned into Terrence. Kind of gay.
Yay!
I just want to say, Weston, your laugh is like go to like cure cancer one day.
What
I just
makes
want
you?
to. I just want to. Oh my god! It sounds like he's being electrocuted while he orgasms at the same time. All right. So in this episode, we are going to be reviewing. In this episode, we're going to be reviewing episode 1 of season 1 called Midnight on the Firing Line. All right. Um. So Ed, what did you think? What do I feel like Ed all of a sudden? All right. Um. So, what did you think of this episode?
Definitely a lot better than the Gathering. If the
Okay, Weston,
Gathering,
what do you think? No, I'm kidding.
okay, go ahead, Weston. What do you think of
No,
the
no, no.
episode?
It's all right. No, finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Um, so I thought it was definitely better than The Gathering. And thank God Weston didn't get to see that because it would have been like a chore to get through. But I was like, you know what? There's probably a huge reason why this show is considered to be one of the greatest shows of all time. Um, and I will stick through this. I will soldier on, and I will see what the all the fuss is about, and maybe I will fall in love with it as much as my fellow Babylonian. Adam has, and I might be into that as well. So definitely, this was a great. If I didn't see The Gathering, this was definitely the right first impression, and I'm glad that Weston got to see it from here rather than The Gathering. So this was definitely a thumbs up show.
All right. Very good. Weston, what was your impression of this episode?
Uh, it was definitely. I mean, it kept my interest. So it wasn't really bad, but like it was kind of boring. But then a savior came along. No, not Jesus, but he's now the most interesting character that I've probably seen in a while, and that's George Washington on cocaine, man. Like as soon as
Londo.
he came on, yeah, Londo. Yeah, I'm gonna call him George Washington on cocaine. I don't care what his actual name is.
He's referring to Lando Molari, the Centurion ambassador.
I'm like, dude, I like this dude. He's fat. He looks like he just got electrocuted. I'm like, he looks like a very funny, interesting character. Like, he looks like that friend you got drunk with on Halloween and you two just woke up in the fucking dark alleys or some shit. Like, yeah, I was like, this dude's fucking awesome. But then I just paid attention to him the whole time, and it got interesting.
I can sense all the Babylonians just having a heart attack right now. They're like, "Oh my God, what is he saying about Londo?"
Oh, you
Dear
guys should be
Variety
grown up.
Views.
You guys are grown ups. You should get over it. I mean, you guys are like what, probably 30 to this point. So if you're offended, go fuck yourself.
Uh, so,
All right.
continue.
So, all right. So let's get into the plot synopsis. So, it's the beginning of the. Oh, sorry, not the beginning of, but it is Earth the year 2258, and the name of the place is Babylon 5, a 5 mile long station set in neutral territory, and yeah, it's basically a place where all these ambassadors from different worlds come together, and hopefully, they're kind of there to get along. And 10 years ago, there was this big war between the humans, between Earth and the Minbari. We find out in the pilot episode that the Minbari just surrendered. They surrendered, and as soon as they basically had the humans beaten, basically on the night that they were going to beat the humans, beat Earth, the Minbari just surrendered suddenly, and we don't know why, but something happened. Maybe it has to do with the Battle of the Line. Who knows? But spoilers. But but
Our host is underwater.
He's fading away, dude. It's like he's fading away, dude. Just like Drew McIntyre's career.
oh my God, Drew McIntyre's career. All right,
And Drew McIntyre is an
better?
Minbari, for those of you who don't know what wrestling is.
All right, is that better?
Yes, much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the beginning of this episode, we find out that there is an attack on the one of the Centauri, excuse me, agricultural colonies,
Ragish
and
3.
Ragish 3,
Yes.
and it's a peaceful. Very good. Wow, Ed, you remember that right off the top of your head.
Wikipedia helps.
Hey, kayfabe.
Oh yeah, top of my head, definitely.
And yeah, so there's an attack on a Centauri agricultural colony, very peaceful colony, and later we find out in the episode that it was the Narn. It was the Narn regime who attacked the Centauri, and this kind of sets up a little bit of a feud between Londo and Jakar, who are the Centauri and Narn ambassadors. Ed, what do you think of this feud between Londo and Jakar?
It's definitely a great start. The way that it, because when I saw the gathering, I was like, yes, Jakar is gonna be definitely the villain of the show, and yeah, now to kind of clear things up for those of you who are watching, which I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching right now is a Babylon fan, and if not, then let's kind of you know clear some things. The Minbari are the ones that that are bald with the bone in the back of their heads, and their ambassador is Delenn, I believe. Right? Am I correct, Adam?
Oh,
I don't
hang
know.
on, I have to unmute. Yes, you're correct.
Yes. Okay. And and the Narn that are actually feuding with the Centauri here, that's being led by Jakar, is the one that looks like Cell from Dragon Ball Z's poop. And he's
I don't even want to picture how that looks like.
And he's the guy. He's got the one that's feuding with
The
as Weston
lizard
likes
people.
as Weston likes to call him, George Washington on cocaine. And he's the leader of the. He's the ambassador of the Centauri. So we got the Centauri against the Narn, and yes, I like the story that's going on between them. That they have a history, and the Narn really feel like they're above the Centauri. So it kind of feels like, in a way, kind of how that the Narn are a little bit maybe racist. I'd like to say, which kind of mirrors society in a way. They because the way that Narn kind of present themselves, they kind of feel like you know. Upper class type of guys that have inherited millions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like the guys that see the lower class as nothing but dirt, basically. While the Centauri are like, no, we definitely have culture. We have definitely millions and millions of years, and just like we that's we do deserve to be seen as an actual race, as an actual equal to the other races. So it really mirrors society, especially nowadays. Looking back, and you're looking right now, it's like, fuck, it hasn't changed in 25 years, you know. So I really like this feud.
All right, awesome. Weston, what do you think of the feud between George Washington on cocaine and Piccolo's poop?
He better not fuck with my boy George, dude. Like he's obviously real, man. He knows what the fuck he's doing. He's a G, dude.
This is like a Babylon 5 review on acid.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about a dude on cocaine.
Yeah, I like the vibe of like the show a little bit. It kind of reminds me of like what if Star Trek had sex with Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Uh, oh, and again, in much of the series, they obviously didn't reveal too much because I mean, who does that on the first episode unless you're stupid? But you know, again, I'm interested in the feud. Obviously, I mean, it's Piccolo versus George Washington. It's a dream match we never thought we would get. So I'm looking forward to it, and the build has been okay so far.
All right, awesome. So in this episode, we're also introduced to a couple of new characters. Some characters now have been replaced from the characters. Sorry, Weston, but you didn't see the pilot. But there are a couple of characters on the pilot that have been replaced. For example, we have a new lieutenant commander named Susan Ivanova, played by Claudia Christian. We have a new telepath replacing Lita Alexander, and that is Talia Winters. And we're also introduced to a brand new assistant to Londo, his assistant ambassador, if you will, Avir. So, Ed, what do you think of these new characters that we were introduced to?
Well, I definitely like. I don't know if it was if Jakar was different. Was it the makeup, or was it a different guy playing him?
No, it was same guy, Andrew, and sorry, Andreas Katsoulis.
Yeah, because he kind of, I don't know, he felt different than in The Gathering. In The Gathering, he was much more, bombastic and much more of a loudmouth. While in this episode, he was much more calm, cool, and collected, and he was like that background heel, the background bad guy that was like pulling the strings and just like hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. While in The Gathering, he's like, no, I'm not the wrong guy. I'm not the guy that should be prosecuted and stuff like that. So here he felt like much more of a you know a villain with a lot of mystique to him. And I definitely like some of the changes. I liked the commander in The Gathering, Nakanishi. I think that's what her name was.
Taka Michinoku.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, by the way, I don't know why, but like how he's explaining this for some reason, I'm just singing the song in my head like, anal, 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 oh, anal, oh.
Dude, we're turning away all the Babylonians right now. Um,
and future Babylonians for generations to come.
yeah. So the woman that replaced her as commander, which I believe this was supposed to be like her first day as commander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely had that leadership type of quality, and she felt like much more than Nakanishi or Takashi. I don't remember what her name was. The Asian commander from The Gathering.
Number one
Yeah,
commander. Smackdown,
Takashima.
number one
Yeah,
commander.
Laurel Takashima. Okay, I got it right now.
Takashima, yeah.
Yeah, Laurel Takashima. Laurel Takashima had that that general type of like no nonsense. While the newer one, Ivanova, is that what her name is?
Ivanova.
Ivanova. Okay, Susan Ivanova. She's much more, she has much more dimensions. She's much more, she can be sassy. She can be, she can joke around a little bit. And yeah, I like the changes because I didn't know what to expect. I was like, going into it, I was like, I don't know, maybe not. Because I liked, Benjamin Kyle as, Dr. Benjamin Kyle. I liked Laura Takashima, as I said
Oh,
before.
that's right. I'm sorry. You're also introduced to Benjamin Franklin. Not Benjamin Franklin, but wait.
We got George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. Shit,
No,
Holy
you're
shit!
fucking-
Yeah.
Stephen Franklin. Stephen
Yeah.
Franklin.
Yeah.
Dr. Stephen Franklin is the new doctor in
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Benjamin Franklin.
I was about to say like Dr. Benjamin Kyle, and he's like Benjamin Franklin. I'm like, what? Am I wrong here? Did I miss something?
No, I was
Season
thinking
2
Benjamin Kyle.
coming soon. Abraham Washington, just like Abraham Washington. What the fuck?
Oh man.
coming
And
in the fourth season, Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Well, wait. If we have Abraham Washington, can we also have oh God, what's his name?
Yeah, Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas.
Yeah. Tony.
Yeah. So
So okay. Let's get back right on
Oh my
track
God.
because
Back to
everybody was
Babylon
like, I
5.
wasn't like a wrestling fan.
no, if we start talking about wrestling, we're never gonna stop talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
Hold on. Abraham Washington could be like George Washington Cocaine's like black ghetto cousin.
With a little bit of Abraham Lincoln into him as well, with the beard.
Oh,
Anyways.
God.
Yeah.
All right. So Dr. Stephen Franklin. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Stephen Franklin. He didn't do much on the show, so I didn't feel the same gravitas that Benjamin Kyle had in The Gathering, but he was serviceable. What else? Who was the new telepath?
Oh, Talia Winters.
Yeah, Talia Winters. I think Talia Winters, she was a little bit better because, again, more dimensions. While the original, Lita Alexander, Lita had more of a, oh my God, I really feel bad, and that's the only tone that she would go for. While Talia had more dimensions, and here's something that I noticed is that Lita, the telepaths in The Gathering, they would be able to read minds, but in the telepaths in here, they have to touch someone to know what they're thinking, and so that's the there's a difference there. And what else? What else did they change? Some of the special effects I thought were a little bit better than The Gathering. Kosh, for the ambassador of the Vorlons. I don't know, like, is it supposed to be like if somebody sees him, they would turn into something? Like, what's up with the atmosphere? Like, they have to wear gas masks like around him.
Oh, right. Well, each part of the station is designed specifically for that person, that species atmosphere. So basically, what they had to do was they had to recreate each planet's atmosphere station. So on Kosh's part of this, where his quarters, where he lives, they basically had to recreate the atmosphere on the Vorlon homeworld.
Right. And when Sinclair was talking to him, he was talking to like a glass, a glass, window, and like he could, I don't know, like if he like looked at him, does he like, something happens to him or something like that? Does he turn
Uh,
into stone?
well, they established that in the Gathering, but I don't think they ever mentioned that ever again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so, yeah. Once you've seen the first episode, you can, except for a couple of like key things, you can kind of forget the Gathering.
Yeah.
But the Gathering is like, I think it's just a good way to introduce the characters. All right. So yeah. So you're also introduced to Vir Koto. What do you think of or Vir Koto? What do you think of Vir?
Um. I again like he's one of those guys that I didn't I was more focused on Londo and Jakkur and Sinclair and Garibaldi.
Right.
Garibaldi, I thought was the best thing on this episode. Like he was my favorite, like of everyone on this episode. Like I really wish that he was the lead instead of Sinclair
Oh
because
wow.
he has that thing about him that's so lovable. It's not in his pants. So.
It's definitely. Oh
So
my cancer's gone.
So yeah, he's definitely low, and I love the thing that where he goes to Talia and he's like, so how about you come back to my place and I can show you my favorite thing in the whole wide galaxy, and she's like, no, okay, my second favorite thing. Yeah,
And then
and
later on, we find out that's Duck Dodgers cartoons.
yeah,
It's Daffy Duck cartoons. Yeah.
which just like it made me like love him even more. I was like, dude, the dude is so awesome.
He is awesome. I really love the way that Jerry Doyle plays Mr. Garibaldi, as Londo likes to say.
Yeah.
Um,
He's definitely like a more lovable and softer spoken Patrick Warburton. So
yeah,
can you
yeah.
imagine him saying, saying the lines that Garibaldi would say? It's like, "Hey Talia, how about you come back to my place, and I would show you the second favorite thing that I love in the whole wide galaxy."
Why does he sound like a drunk Andre the Giant?
That's what he sounds like.
All right. Weston, what do you think of the characters overall on the show?
The ones that I can remember, they were pretty good. I mean, again, this is the first episode, so obviously I haven't been that exposed to them. But the ones that I can remember, yeah, pretty cool.
Besides Londo, who stood out to you? Like, who did you see? Like,
Hey, who's hosting this show? Huh?
Okay.
Who's hosting?
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry,
So,
sorry,
so
master.
besides, oh Jesus. So besides Londo, who stuck out of the show?
Red Piccolo.
God. All right. So kind of gay.
Okay.
So then we find out that the
Our host is underwater again.
He's not underwater, he's slowly backing away, dude. He's shy.
I said host Babylon 5, not go there.
Oh, well, it could be worse. I could be on Babylon 4, which just mysteriously disappeared.
Ah,
What happened?
really
Yeah, well, that's a good
interesting.
question. What happened to Babylon 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Babylon 1, 2, and 3 were destroyed. Babylon 4 mysteriously disappeared 24 hours after it became operational.
These guys fucking suck at protecting their shit.
These guys fucking suck.
Uh,
Maybe it must be Garibaldi's fault. Mr. Garibaldi. All right. So then we find out that it was actually the Narn who are behind the Centauri attack, and things get really heated between Londo and Takar, and between the Centauri and the Narn. We also find out that Londo's nephew had something to do with it.
Oh my god, that's so funny. We're just joking about Abraham Washington. Now his nephew has something to do with it. What if he's black and like Abraham?
Oh man. Oh.
Why are you farting? That's like you're farting.
What?
You're on your couch or something. It sounds like you're farting. Like,
Oh yeah.
you're fading away again.
Okay.
how rude.
This is the best Babylon 5 interview of all time.
We set the bar. We set the bar so high right now.
So fucking
I know, right?
Oh, so high that you probably have to be.
I can't even hear our host.
God, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
good.
perfect.
All right, so something else that you find out is that the Psychor, there's something called the Psychor, and basically what they do is they monitor telepaths. And we find out that I think it was Ivanova's mother was a telepath, mother or father, was a telepath, and basically the choices that you have if you have telepathic abilities are either you join the Psychor, or you take pills, you take medicine your entire life that basically make you a shell of your former self. And they reduce your telepathic abilities. They kind of just inhibit them. And so those are your choices. If you're a telepath, is you can either join the core, or you can basically take medicine that inhibits your telepathic abilities and make you not even yourself. Like they Ivanova was talking about, I think it was her mother, and she said, she wasn't at the end. She wasn't even herself anymore because she was a telepath and she didn't want to join the Psychor. So, what's your initial thoughts on the Psychor?
I feel like it really feels like a what do you call it? Like a very hostile German camp type of thing. It's one of those things where it's like it really feels like you have to be dedicated to it, and they need to take away like your feelings and pretty much your soul. So I don't know, like I don't know much about the Psychor, but it feels like there's definitely gonna be some sort of rebellion coming in like the next few episodes. So yeah, like I feel like it's just one of those things that's just like, oh, we're completely focused. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you think that the Psychor? So you think that the Psychor has a potential to be like another villain, maybe, on the show?
It could be like one of those things where, oh, we're doing, it's kind of like the with Captain America and like the Winter Soldier, and it's like we're making the perfect soldiers. We're trying to protect our species, trying to protect our planet and stuff like that. But there's so many shady things going on behind the scenes, that a lot of lives have been lost, but it's not talked about. So I feel like it's gonna be like one of those, unspoken villains, which then will be revealed like later on,
Okay. Interesting.
kind of like Hydra.
Hell Hydra.
Yeah.
All right, Weston. What do you think of the Psychor?
I don't remember.
All right. Basically, they're basically just to recap what I said like 2 minutes ago. They're they control not. I don't want to say they control telepaths, but they're a group of like telepathic. It's an organization. It's an
They
organization.
train telepaths. They
They
make
train.
train
Yeah.
them to their own.
Yeah. Well, shit. How do I sign up, dude? I want a telepath. But yeah.
You have to be a telepath first.
Oh well, that sucks. But anyway, yeah.
That's the whole thing. They train telepaths. It's like saying, "Oh, they train dogs to do this." It's like, "Oh, I wish I was a dog."
Well, they sound interesting. That's all I can say.
Anyways, continue. Our host.
All right. All right. So, yeah. So I feel like the Psychor definitely has some potential. What do you think, Ed?
Well, like I said, I think that there are going to be the unspoken villains of the piece,
All right.
where like later on they'll be revealed.
Awesome.
Damn. Them bitches is some evil bitches, man. I forgot what they were called.
The Psychor.
Yeah, them cyclones, man. They some evil bitches.
Psychor.
Cyclone.
What the hell did you say? Oh man. Cyclone. Cyclone is a fucking ride that you go on at the fucking fair.
Oh,
It'll be a while before he gets used to the names. It's still the first episode.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's my first episode, dude.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It does take some getting used to, especially the names of the races like the Centauri and the Narn.
By the way, anyone who's watching this, I'm not a new nerd. Okay, I've been a wrestling fan for 18 years, so
that doesn't make you a nerd.
Yeah, it does. Shut up. Go back to being a host.
It makes you a very specific type of nerd, but I wouldn't really. All right.
Dude, I even like Power Rangers and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
That makes you a weeaboo, not a nerd.
The fuck's a weeboo?
Okay, so let's continue.
All
Let's
right.
move along.
All right. So, Ragus 3 used to be a Narn world. The lens speaks about a cycle of hatred. Oh, in this episode, we actually hear what a Vorlon sounds like, which is very cryptic and a lot of different sounds before they actually speak.
Mhm.
So when Kosh speaks and he just says like, yes, before you hear him say yes, it's like all these other weird, yes.
Sounds like an old modem.
So
Like
now,
a freaking
from now
dial-up.
on, from now,
Man,
from now on, I'm just gonna call Kosh an old modem. That's what Vorlons are to me now. They're old modems.
Dude, that's Owen's cousin, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, suppress her telepathic abilities. That's the term I was looking for. And the drugs drove Ivanova's mother into a deep depression and led her to suicide. All right, so
Wait, she let her commit suicide? What a bitch.
so what do you think of the Vorlons, especially Kosh? We don't really hear too much from Kosh. In fact, we don't really hear anything from Kosh in the pilot, but we actually hear what a Vorlon sounds like, and we learn a little bit more about the Vorlon. So, what's your impression of Ambassador Kosh and the Vorlon?
Well, he wasn't a bitch like he was in The Gathering, where
Right.
he just comes in and gets poisoned.
Right. Right.
Like right away, like on his first scene, he's like, "Hey, I'm a Dalek," just like, and then he
Okay.
he gets poisoned right away, and then that's the whole thing. But here, it felt like, first of all, the effects were much better, and
Right.
second, because I love that protruding eye that just keeps on following Sinclair.
Yeah.
And
Called the stalker.
the what?
That's called the stalker. The shooting guy that keeps on following her.
Yeah. It was weird. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, the effects are much better. It feels like, especially with Sinclair wearing a gas mask and just being so cautious, it made the Vorlon seem like a more threatening, even like even an accident would be fatal for you to if you're not cautious enough around them. It's kind of like with the xenomorphs. It's like, how do you kill them? Like, even if you cut them down, like they bleed acid. Like, what the fuck? What do you do? I feel the same way with the Vorlons. It's like, even if you think that you've won, they still somehow have a chance in like destroying you. So yeah.
All right, Weston, do you have anything to add to that about the Vorlon? And
I'm handicapped here in a weird way, but yeah, they sound cool, and you fucked if they bleeding acid.
wait, what about bleeding acid? I totally missed that thing about bleeding acid.
Oh, I think that's what he said, and then like I just kind of like was like, damn, there's some G's, man. But when I think about Ambassador, whatever the fuck his name is.
His name is Kosh. Yeah, Kosh.
Yeah, Kosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
as
Rusev
Ed would say,
Kosh.
oh, this is falling apart. Oh,
I don't know.
Rusev
Whenever I hear
Kosh.
his name, I remember Napoleon Dynamite. It's like Kosh.
Dude, I think of Rusev Lana as like a Rusev Kosh. But he sounds like a pretty weakling. I wouldn't be surprised if he got killed off at some point.
Okay.
That's it. First episode, guys. Remember, first episode.
I know. It's okay. Anyways, continue, Adam.
all right. So,
Get back over here, Adam. We can't hear you. You're underwater again.
all right, hang on.
This show is awesome. This show is awesome. Best Babylon 5 review in the history of Babylon 5.
All
Fuck,
right.
it's the best episode ever. Best thing on this channel.
Yep. Best thing going today. All right. A couple of other very important things happened during this episode. We find out that Londo has a dream where someone is strangling him to death, and he's strangling that person, and they both die. And that person is him and Jakar. And he says that as soon as he sees Jakar, he has he recognizes him from his dream, and that he's the person who's going to kill Londo. So this is possibly maybe a bit of a prophecy,
Or a premonition.
a premonition that it's going to happen 20 years in the future. I don't. Wait, that didn't sound like Londo at all. That sounded more like Count Dracula.
George Washington with cocaine cannot be deleted.
Ambassador Jakar, I knew you'd come.
Yes. Oh.
It must be documented.
Anyways, let's keep this going.
All right. So
Boy.
he has a premonition that him and Jakar are going to kill each other 20 years in the future. Then we see Garibaldi watching Duck Dodgers in the 21st or 23rd and a half century. Basically, he's watching cartoons with Delenn. And Delenn is very confused by the cartoon, which I think is just fucking adorable.
I dig bold chicks.
I dig bold chicks. Oh man. Garibaldi needs a shirt that says "I dig ball chicks." And
With
she's
bones
even
in
like
their heads.
bones, yeah. And she's even kind of looking at the popcorn a little bit confused, like what do I do with this? Do I put this in my mouth? Do I, what is this strange thing? And she can't really figure out why the cartoon is funny, but Garibaldi's loving it. And then in the end, we see Sinclair passing out on his bed, and Ivanova says, "Captain, there's Commander, there's a problem." And fade to black. And that is the end of the first episode, Midnight on the Firing Line. Ed, what are your final thoughts?
Well, you kind of glossed over a few things where Londo, he was in front of the council and he wanted to say that it was in fact the Narn that attacked Ragesh 3, and then the Narn said, Jakar said that, oh no, we have footage from Londo's nephew that we were told to come over and help out, and they started firing back. And then the nephew pretty much appeared on the screen, and then he said, yes, they're here to help us out. But it kind of looked like that he was forced into it, but the councilmen didn't see it that way. They were like, well, this is proof, they're fucking, they asked them to come over and they'll blow shit up. But still, like, everything was, up and up. But Londo didn't see it that way, so he went back to his lair and he got out like a gun, some sort of gun, and he was about to shoot Jakar, but Talia intercepted him and kind of saw what his intentions were, and she couldn't stop him, and so she went to Garibaldi. And asked him to stop Jakar, and Garibaldi kind of talked Londo out from doing it.
Man, Jakar sounds like such a black name.
Jakar?
Yeah.
Actually, the original name was going to be Jacker.
Oh, wow, that's worse. Yeah, we'll just stick with Jakar.
Yeah.
They were acting on the set today, and they were filming.
I can't hear you, Adam.
Oh, God. They were filming.
It's like I can imagine Jakar, like he'd be like the nicest guy in the world. He's like a millionaire, and then you come over to him and you're like, oh, whose vehicle is this? And he's like, this is Jakar.
Oh God.
This is Jakar.
But the name was originally Jacker, and what happened was they were acting, and he said, "I am Ambassador Jakar," and J. Michael Straczynski was like, "Cut, it's Jacker," and he's like, "Why'd you say Jakar?" And he's like, Andrew Katsoulis was like, "I decided that he's French," so so from then on they just called him Jakar, and they changed it in the script from Jakar to Gakar to G''Kar. And from then on, he was, and from then on, because of Andreas Katsoulis, he was Jakar.
Can you imagine if his last name was Swagger, Jakar Swagger?
We, the Narn people.
Yeah.
We, the Narn regime. So who would Zeb Coulter be?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe Londo.
Yeah.
No, actually, I can see Garibaldi. I can see Garibaldi more as a Zeb Coulter.
But yeah, like imagine like Jakar as part of like the Truth Commission. He really sounds. It sounds like he's got a name that should be part of like the Truth Commission, like being managed by the Jackal.
The Jackal. Who was also, wasn't he Cyrus the Virus?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. All right, so back to B5 before we get on to wrestling for 2 hours. Yeah. So Ed, you made some good points with the things that I kind of glossed over. What?
Final
Well,
thoughts?
maybe one day you'll get your own show and you'll be able to host things,
Uh,
Mr. Variety Fender.
don't worry, don't worry. You're doing a great job, dude. Like, I
Oh,
think you could definitely host this show from now on. Anyways,
I would be honored. Um,
so
yeah. So what are your thoughts on the plot overall of this episode?
I definitely thought it was a great introduction for the new cast, and a good. I think it really definitely created a strong enough base to build up upon. Much more so than the Gathering, and I really now looking back, I really feel like the Gathering was kind of a waste of time, but at the same time, buried by Mike, buried by Mike.
I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel like I wasted your time too.
But I'm still glad that I saw it because I love seeing stuff from where they started. Like especially when it comes to like big shows, I like to see like how it all began, like how shitty it was. It's kind of like when you're watching, Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 2, you would watch like the first Evil Dead or even like that short film Cabin in the Woods, and it's like, wow, that's how they got to that. So yeah, this was definitely a great episode, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next.
All right, awesome. Weston, what are your thoughts on the overall plot of this episode?
Well, obviously the show was pretty decent. I mean, if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be looking forward to the second episode. So, I think it was good. Probably could have been better, but for a plot, it was alright. And I hope the second episode, man, it's all about George Washington, man. I hope they kick some space ass.
All right, is there anything else you guys want to add before we call it a night?
That's pretty much it.
Weston?
All hell, George Washington. All hell, George Washington.
Oh my God. You're not going to let this George Washington thing go, are you?
No, he looks exactly like him, dude. That's
He
like
does not look like George Washington at all. Oh my God.
You can okay. You can have your cocaine, George Washington. I'm gonna take Piccolo's nutsack from now on.
he just looks like Red Piccolo. Like,
Oh man.
All right.
All right.
So
Well,
closing Adam.
all right. Well, thanks for tuning in to I Was Never a Fan of. Be sure to tune into the Buried by Mike. Wait, am I getting buried by Mike again?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. Every time Weston starts laughing, I think I'm getting buried by Mike. All right.
oh my god.
All right. Make sure to tune into the next episode where we'll be watching Soul Hunter, which is episode 2 of season 1. One of my favorite episodes, and actually one of the.
That's just stupid. You should know the next episode's episode 2. Like, yeah, we watched episode 1. I'm going to skip to 6.
All right. Well, Weston will not be on the next show, but we hope that you join us anyway. Yeah. Well, we'll be watching Soul Hunter, which is a fan favorite, actually. Yeah. And make sure to tune into the next episode of Desire Wrestling, where I become the #1 contender, and then I take Ed's belt. All right.
The only way you'll become #1 contender is if you make a wish.
We'll see. We'll see. Definitely.
Maybe I'll channel my inner Connor the Crusher.
All right. On that note, we're out.
All right. Well, make sure to tune in next episode where we'll be talking about something else.